Welcome. We're back. What an insane day. It was just crazy. A lot of stocks went absolutely insane. This is probably going to be one of my favorite streams. We got a lot to talk about. There's obviously a lot that already happened, but as I'm about to show you in a few minutes, there's a lot that could happen on a few names that I'm looking at. Today was a really good day for the trades. If you follow my trades on Twitter or in the Discord, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. We'll look at the weekly sheet later. But obviously the biggest thing that happened today was AMC. I'll come back to it later maybe if somebody wants to look at it, but just we're looking at this chart. There's not many technicals to be doing right now. But it was up pretty much almost 100% today. This is not like a technical thing at this current time. No, AMC is not my type of stock. I know that you hate that about me, but that's who I am. And I'm still making much more profits in options on regular names. But we've talked about AMC a lot. We've talked about AMC since $5. It's not the only stock to be watching. I disagree with you there, NASCAR. There's a lot of other stocks that have been very profitable, and you can get more than the same amount of returns in options. So I'm just covering it. We're going to get to a lot of other things. Just to start it off, AMC, we talked about a couple nights on stream. Down over here, it was super technical, right? Over here at this $2 ice line, there was classic bullish divergence. We looked at it over here. A lot of other people are talking about it. Then over here is when I was really bullish, like for real. There was hidden bullish divergence on the daily, and you would not know this if you were not watching my streams back in February. If you watch, you can go back to right now. There's still VOD back in February when there was hidden bullish divergence on the daily and on the 4-hour on AMC. Right over here, literally at the lowest point it got to after the initial pump in January, I was pretty bullish on it. I said that multiple times on stream, and that was literally the lowest point it's been since. Did I put out an alert on it? No. But have I covered it on stream for months? Yes. And it really all started there, and then it pretty much put in a symmetrical triangle, which I also showed on stream. Right over here, went up crazy, and then crazier. Up here, there's not much to talk about. This obviously I did not cover. There's not much I can do on one green candle on the 4-hour. But to those who are in AMC, congratulations. I never am gonna hate on other people making money. That's not something I do. I'm glad for everybody who made money, and as I'm gonna go over in a little bit, there's a lot of other things that can make some more money. So yes, AMC, congratulations. Just gonna cover it really quickly. Obviously no technical, just want to talk about it. And if somebody requests it when we do ticker requests in a little bit, then we'll look at it then. But we have a lot of other things to talk about. AMC was insane, but there were so many other things that were insane today. And if you look at the NASDAQ and the S&P, you would not really be able to tell that. They were relatively flat. But okay, let me get a little bit hype here for a second. Let me get some vibes over here. This is probably one of the best weekly sheets we've ever had. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, this is the weekly sheet right now. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm super happy to be streaming tonight. We got a lot of people in here. Let's go. Let me switch to the other overlay, which I haven't yet. All right, so we got a new overlay. My face is kind of blocking the trades, but you can see the returns, right? There is pretty much about 30 plus trades I've put out in the past couple of weeks. And literally, aside from one trade, which is just being stupid, it's almost a perfect sheet. I mean, this is probably one of the best. I think this is the best sheet that we've had so far. So, and again, not even a lot of, like, all these ones on the top, anybody could be in. XPV went 42%, Fisker 38%, Dogecoin in like one day went 33%. This was alerted to everybody. These were some premium calls, NEO and AAL. Those hit the targets today. Then we had PGRE 17%, SPG 10%, IGP, whatever it's called, 10%. Close that one out early. Let's go, FIFA Jesus. Thank you for the subscription. Yes, the sheet looks great. There's profits everywhere. I hope you're enjoying them. Whether you're a premium member or not, I'm trying to put out trades for everybody. And luckily, they're on a different level right now, which is awesome. So appreciate all the support. Keep hitting that like button. We're going to get to the charts now and talk about what's going on and what could potentially happen soon. I'm going to talk about CLOV. I'm going to talk about Fisker, a couple other stocks, and then we're going to recap all the trades. And then when I wrap all that up, we're going to do ticker requests. I'm going to look at charts for all of you after I finish covering everything from the day and going into tomorrow. So if you're new to the stream, hit that subscribe button, and let's get to it. All right, let's get back to the charts. Let me switch back to the other overlay. All right, I hate how the chat gets like empty whenever I switch overlays. That sucks, but whatever. Let's talk about the actual indices first, which is, I know you might be bored of this, nothing's happening. I'm just going to cover it literally within 2 minutes. The S&P 500. It's super weird. What's going on is very strange. We're getting a lot of activity in growth names and small caps, but the S&P for honestly the past like week and a half has been completely just flat. I mean, it's gone up a little bit here and there. It's pulled back a little bit, but really low activity. This is the least amount of volatility we've seen on the S&P 500 probably since at least over a month, but it's just very, very quiet. I do think that there is going to be a big move soon on the S&P 500. It usually does not stay quiet for this long, especially in the market we've been in after the COVID crash. So keep an eye on this. This will affect your stocks, okay? I don't care if it's an AMC or a GME or whatever, E or C, whatever. The S&P is obviously going to affect a lot of stocks. And of course, certain things will go against the S&P. We've seen multiple days where Wall Street bet stocks are up when the market is down. But overall, we all know this, most things can get affected by a big pullback, or on the flip side, a big run up on the S&P. It's a big factor that a lot of people look at in terms of how confident they feel in the market. Flipping over to the NASDAQ, honestly, I think it looks a little bit better than the S&P because the S&P is at the top of this wedge, and we know what's happened the past 4 times it was at the top of this wedge. It's not there right now, but it's near that area. The NASDAQ, it's above 13,600, which is great. That was that previous resistance on the NASDAQ. You're above that. You have the hidden bullish divergence. Low time frames are not the best, but we had a little bit of a decent move in the final hour of the day. And I don't want to spend too much time on that, but one thing that's also interesting, we are seeing a very, very silent rotation. It's not silent if you're trading a lot of the names I'm trading, but it's very weird how a lot of the big large cap tech stocks are just doing nothing, and then the money's kind of rolling over into those small cap and growth stock names that have been crushed since February. And we're not really seeing that infiltrate the indices. The indices are just kind of flat. So I don't know, maybe the algos are at work right now. But it's pretty wild what's going on. It's very quiet. I don't think a lot of people are noticing it, but I do think that the market's setting up for volatility soon. I mean, if we look at the VIX, the volatility index, you can see that it's kind of holding the 16 level. And that was the level it bounced off of in April. And then if you remember in the beginning of May, we had a very rough market. So we're back at that level. And I'm not trying to freak you out. There's still a lot of money to be made in a lot of names. Just keep all these factors in mind. Continuing on, futures are up a little bit tonight, which are good. They were kind of flat the past 2 nights. And that's really the recap of the market. I mean, the Russell was up a little bit. It actually might be breaking out of the symmetrical triangle. This is like the small cap ETF or the small cap index. And then we have ARK, which was also flat today, just messing around with the 200-day moving average. That really recaps the market. I don't want to spend too much time on the market today because it's kind of like a stock picker's market. If you can find the right stock, a lot of them are going crazy. And we're going to talk about all those names in like literally 2 or 3 minutes. So I hope you're enjoying the stream. Hit that like button. This is the most amount of viewers we've had in the stream for a few weeks now. I think that we're finally starting to get that happiness back. But here's the thing. We have 44 people in the stream right now. About 3 weeks ago, when the NASDAQ and the S&P were all the way down, it was pretty much in this area. The S&P was all the way down here. It was down like 6% in a week. And the NASDAQ was down like 10%. And like, we could just look at it really quickly. Right over here. I'm sure a lot of you remember the beginning of May. NASDAQ was down 9% in about 2 or 3 weeks. And a lot of the actual growth stocks that have been dumping since February, I'm sure you know the SPACs and the EVs and the pot stocks, those were at their lowest levels that they've seen in over a year. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did this one stream called Are Growth Stocks Primed for a Comeback? And for pretty much the whole entire week, while we were at the bottom over here, I was saying that the growth stock looked really, really good. You had harmonics, divergence. A lot of things were flipping their previous resistances into ice lines. Like an example, let me try and find one, like Fisker, right? You had the bullish butterfly divergence on the daily. So many growth stocks looked just like this, right? Even XPEV, same exact pattern. It was flipping previous resistances or previous supports were reclaiming as supports. They all look the same. And you would not know this if you weren't in the stream 2 weeks ago. And that's just kind of how it works. While we were down over here, people were losing their minds. They were losing money. And obviously not too many people were happy. But what I always say is, when you have capitulation, that brings opportunity. And thankfully, we were able to spot that opportunity right at the bottom about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's led to this, a really good trade sheet. And those are real numbers from the past couple of weeks of trades. So it's just been wild ever since then. That's where this all started. You know, a lot of other people who do this only started getting hype after they bounced up. This is why I was trying to really emphasize down here how bullish things were looking. But to be quite honest, not too many people cared because we hadn't bounced yet. And that's just what I try to teach. So if you want somebody who is trying to teach you how to anticipate the moves before they happen using technicals with risk management, like I put out in all my trades, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, let's actually talk about, all right, here's how we're going to kind of format this stream. First, I'm going to talk about a few names that look pretty interesting to me, squeezable names. After I do that, we're going to go over the ongoing trades like QS. I was spamming QS everywhere on Twitter and the Discord yesterday. I shared options with premium members that went up over 100%. I was spamming it everywhere. Like, we're going to go over all the ongoing trades. Fisker even hit the first target of the trade for 30% profit. We're going to go over all that, but before we do, I'm just going to go over some interesting looking stocks, and then we'll get into the ongoing trades. And then after that, we are going to take a request for all of you in the chat. So hopefully I'm not lagging. Oh gosh, did my Wi-Fi go out? Is the stream still up? Everything just kind of froze for me. Are you joking? All right, are we good? Let me know in the chat if we're good and I didn't like, this never happens, and it would suck for that to happen tonight because there's so much to talk about. Let me know if you can still see me in the chat. It might have just glitched out for a second. Not receiving enough video. All right, hopefully we're good. Looks like the chat is still moving. Let's talk about Clover. Clover was up 13% today. It was up like another 12% after hours. It's making a move. If you follow me on Twitter at Champion Vibe, it's like in the bottom left of your screen. I pretty much put out this tweet on Clover. I could pull it up really quickly. Right over here. Where is it? I put out this tweet on Clover, and we're going to spend some time on Clover because it's very interesting. It's pretty much like the second highest shortest. It's the second highest short interested stock. How do I even say this? It's like the second most shortest stock. There was a new article that came out today, and I put out this tweet not today, but yesterday when Clover was at about like $7.80. It's now at like $10. I put out this tweet yesterday, and I said the last two times Clover went down to $7 like it did over here, and then it bounced up to $7.93 like it did over here, it went to test $8.90. Today, during the market hours, Clover went to test $8.90, as we could see right over here. And it pretty much tested it, pulled back, and then after hours, it just ripped up to like $9.85 or something. So that was really, really interesting. Keep in mind, Clover, I mean, yes, you had that really good move that we were able to trade. Let me go back to full screen. It had this great move over here back in the end of April, beginning of May. I even alerted, literally was the craziest thing ever. This super big green candle right here and this one were both trades that I caught right before they happened. But besides all that, besides the trades that we've made in this range and everything, realistically, you're still at the same price you were in the beginning of March when the S&P was at the bottom of this wedge, right over here. So, I mean, yes, there have been the ups and the downs, but overall, you're at the same price you were like 2 months ago. And if Clover, so now Clover's at like $9.85 after hours, it's all the way up here. If it can just break this previous support of 10 from when it was the SPAC, there's room up to 1060. If it breaks 1060, I'm just going to chart that. You can see 1060 is pretty much the 200-day moving average, and then this candle high, and then also this candle high. But if it could do that, like, there is room for Clover to go up. It pretty much bled straight down after the Hindenburg short report and all of that. And even if we zoom out, it's kind of double bottoming. This is now the second time that Clover has bounced off of this $7 area. And if you remember, all of this is within a bullish crab harmonic, okay? So these harmonics that are super powerful, we've had amazing trades with harmonics. Clover has now bottomed twice at the pattern completion zone of the harmonic, which is about $6.60-ish, okay? That is really, really big. That's pretty much not once, but twice that buyers have confirmed that that's their level they want to buy it at. And this is kind of like a double bottom on the daily. After a bullish harmonic, we've had multiple great trades. We had like a UWMC trade with the same exact pattern that went 50% in a week. We had the initial trade on Clover that went like 45% or something. And now we're running again after AMC went crazy with a pretty high short interest. I believe a higher short interest than AMC. And there's not much resistance. You already broke this major resistance. $9 was the resistance. It broke it after hours. So I'm keeping an eye on Clover. I did enter Clover earlier this morning. It was perfect timing. I entered Clover like right over here. I sent this to the premium members. It was making these higher lows and it had a sell wall, kind of like an ascending triangle. Like right over here, I got into Clover options and I'm up, I think like 60 or 70%. But since it went up after hours, I'm probably up like another 60 or 70% when the market opens, if it holds up in pre-market. But yeah, Clover. I'm not telling you to FOMO into Clover. None of this is financial advice. It's just something that has the potential, not to do what AMC did, but to put in a crazy short squeeze move because it's heavily shorted. So I'm just watching it. I'm already in it, but I got in at lower prices. So maybe if you can strategize an entry on a dip, you could try and play it. I'm not telling you to go in FOMO and chase the rip. You know what I always talk about, buying in value areas, selling in supply areas. It's just something I wanted to talk about because it's pretty interesting, okay? Moving on, we also have Rocket. There is a gap fill to $22. It was already up 13% today. I'm not telling you to FOMO. I did get in Rocket at much lower prices. But gap fill to 22 and it's now reclaimed. I mean, pretty much it went from being under a major level from that low from October to reclaiming that level and just going insane, up 13%. So another one is Rocket. I don't know if it has like a crazy short interest, but I do believe it has a higher short interest. There's a gap to fill to the upside. Obviously, this has been previously pumped by Wall Street Bets. Just another one that I'm looking at. We already talked about AMC. And then there's one more I want to talk about. GEO. This is like a top 5 highest shorted stock. And the technicals are crazy. And again, these are very long-term technicals that I'm looking at on GEO. But if we take a look at the weekly here, you have a bullish crab on the weekly dating back to 2016. This is a 4-year pattern. I always talk about this. The longer the pattern took to create, the higher the probability it has, because there's a lot more data within the pattern, right? That's what technicals are about, just data and trying to visually psychology. I can't even talk. Trying to visualize the psychology of traders. That's what you're doing with technicals. So you have this major bullish crab and you have a falling wedge. And on the daily, you have classic bullish divergence on the MACD and the RSI. On the 4-hour, you have classic bullish divergence on the MACD and RSI. This, again, it's been crushed for a really long time, but it's heavily shorted. And it actually even filled a gap from like years ago. If we go all the way back to 2006, when I was 4 years old, it gapped up on March 6th of 2006 or March 7th. And it took about 15 years to fill that gap. And that gap finally filled, right? Gap fills can act as supports and resistances, as we've seen right over here and many other times, especially on the S&P. It pretty much filled the gap and then bounced. And we're looking at the weekly time frame, so remember, this could take forever. But it's just another thing I'm keeping an eye on, and I'm just sharing with all of you. So, sheesh, we'll see what happens. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the ongoing trades, which are these right over here. We're going to just go over some of the charts. I'm just going to give some updates on them. And then after I finish going through the ongoing trades, I'm going to do ticker requests. So for all of you that are new to the stream requesting tickers in the chat, I will get to them. Just let me get through the ongoing trades first. Give me like 10 minutes. And then for the rest of the stream, I'm just going to look at charts for all of you. So hit that like button. Thank you for the 30 likes. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to join the Discord, the link's in the description. If you want to send me a tip, that's the pinned chat. Let's get back to the charts, all right? Let's start off with the trades that hit their targets. So let me just pull those all up. Okay, and okay. I forgot. There's also crypto trades that are crushing it. Dogecoin hit the first target. I alerted this on like Sunday night at 31 cents. The target was 41 cents. Hit the target this morning. 34% profit in about 2 or 3 days. The hidden bullish divergence is now confirmed on the daily for Dogecoin. Second target is 46 cents. We'll see what happens. You just got your first positive momentum wick on the MACD. We also have StorageJ, which is up. It's up like 4 or 5% since the entry. NU, these are all cryptos. I'm just going to just look at them and we'll move on. This one is up like 5% since the entry. FIL is also up a few percent since the entry. And then Bitcoin. I didn't put out a trade on Bitcoin, but still looking fine for right now. Kind of in the middle of this range still. Well, let's move on over to stocks. We have something that I am very happy to announce. It is my favorite stock. We all know this. Fisker has hit the first target of the trade. I am going to get to QS. I'm going to go over all the ongoing trades right now. Fisker hit the first target of the trade. Can we get some vibes in the chat? Fisker is my favorite stock. I know it's a lot of people who watch me favorite stock. And it's hit the target for a 38% profit in about 2 or 3 weeks. I think about three weeks, yeah. This is the same exact pattern that it had all the way back in October. This October bullish butterfly ran all the way from $9 to $23. It was one of the most legendary trades I ever put out. It gave me a huge push on Twitter. It was awesome. One of the best trades ever. And then it did the same exact pattern again. And it got to the PCZ on May 10th. I was showing it on the stream saying, look for a bounce here. And then I put out a trade like 2 days later on a little bit of a dip. It had a bunch of catalysts that came out. Then it just chopped around over here, broke the resistances. And finally, Fisker has hit the first target of the trade for a 38% profit. Finally, it is now actually testing that previous support area before yet another trade we had on Fisker that went insane. Remember that Wyckoff accumulation trade? That the entry was like $15. The target was like, again, like $23. It even went all the way up to 32. But let's go Fisker. At this point, you're testing that previous support. It is kind of a resistance. You're kind of actually over it by a little bit. 1455 is more of the exact kind of level. You're actually a little bit over it. You had a really strong close. I don't even know what it did after hours, but you still have the 200-day moving average at around 1540 to deal with. But if you can break that, then the second target on Fisker is like $17. So that's that. All right, let's go Fisker. We also have XPV, which hit the second target of the trade for a 43% profit in a few weeks. I alerted this down at $25. It is now $35. I put out the alert, I think, on May 14th. So yeah, about 2 weeks later, 42% profit. This was alerted to everybody in the Discord, everybody who follows me on Twitter. That's another one. PGRE. This one took forever. Finally hit the target. It took like way longer than I expected. It just kind of chopped around for a super long time. Boom, 17% profits. IPGP. I stopped this one out early. I don't know if that was a great decision. The reason for that was it looked like it was breaking the 200-day moving average. And there's also like hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour. And I was like, it's already up 10%. The first target's only a couple percent higher. So this one, maybe we left some money on the table. Maybe you're still in and you could have just raised your stop loss, whatever you want to do there. You can do. Next one is QS. Let's go. If you're a premium member, QS, I alerted calls yesterday. They dipped pretty hard like right away, but that also gave you an opportunity to cost average. And today those call options were up 180% on QS. Those were alerted yesterday. And if you cost average, you were going to be up probably over 200% on those calls. And then today, since those were weekly calls that I announced yesterday, I gave like some longer term calls on QS and those went up 75%. So, and I was spamming QS on Twitter yesterday. Like I was talking about QS nonstop on Twitter. Hopefully you saw the tweets, and it put in a 9% day. Beautiful. The technicals were amazing. You had like a 4-hour falling wedge. You have a daily falling wedge. It broke out of both of those. Classic bullish divergence on the daily. Back testing a previous resistance as a support. I think there was also like a bullish engulfing candle somewhere here. It was amazing. Technicals were beautiful. This one's been crushed. The entry was $26. It's now at $29. I think I alerted this yesterday. Yesterday, because the market was closed on Monday. So QS is currently paying, obviously not even close to the targets, but very good start, very green day. Trades up 11%. I'm really happy about this one. What else we got here? Just gonna get through these pretty quickly. Keep hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream. Check out the links in the description. HUIA pulled back 4%. It was the worst performing trade today. Kind of also a bearish engulfing candle. So this trade was off to a nice start. I alerted this like last Friday. It's only up 1% now. It was actually up 7% yesterday. So rough pullback. Not too sure if there was news or I didn't really look into it. It was a very hectic day. But HUIA just got a hold above 1450. Nvidia alerted at 566. It's now at 671. It almost hit the second target. It already hit the first target for a 12% profit. It's almost at the second target. It was like a few cents away from the second target, which would be a 20% gain in like 2 weeks. HOFV is another trade that's super close to the target. It's up 29% since the entry. It only needs to go up about 3% more to hit the first target. This was alerted at 320. about 2 weeks ago, and it's up 30% since. There you go. And then for everybody requesting tickers in the chat, we're going to do them in like 5 minutes. I'm just going over the ongoing trades, just giving some updates, and we'll get into ticker requests for like an hour. LVS, flat day, nothing to really update there. THCB finally did something. It was doing nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing, and then finally, I guess, it woke up with a lot of other stocks. There's no resistance. It actually kind of filled a gap today from May 10th. There's no resistance until the first target. Hopefully it gets there. We'll see what happens. And then SPG also hit the target. This trade took longer than expected. Only a 10% gain. Whatever. At least it's profit. And that recaps this wild day in the market. Not so wild for the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, but super wild for a lot of trades, for a lot of different names. Whether you're a premium member or not, today was amazing. That was just kind of the tail of the tape. So keep hitting that like button. Let's get to 40 likes if we can. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the stream. I stream every single night at 9 p.m. EST. I go over the market. I go over trades. I put out trade alerts. And then after I do all that, I look at charts for all of you. So I had this tea here the whole entire time, but I was just kind of like nonstop talking for half an hour. So I'm actually going to drink some now. We already looked at CLOV earlier in the stream. Pull it back up. I mean, CLOV has one of the highest short interests in the market right now. It was up like over 20% today if you include after hours. It's now at like 985. There's not much resistance. If this thing wants to go crazy, it can. It has the short interest. It can go crazy if it wants to. But just remember, it was all the way down here not too long ago. So if it wants to make a higher low and pull back and then go higher, it definitely can. So I'm going to leave that up to you on how, if you want to trade this. I never want you to FOMO, so I'm going to leave it up to you on how to base your entry on that. But obviously, we're going to do take requests. For those of you who haven't seen me like chart, you're going to see it in a few minutes. So yeah, super happy with how today went. I hope you were. Sheesh. Let's see what we got here. I'm just going to look at the chat and then give me like a few minutes. Don't put in tickers yet. I'm just going to see if I missed anything in the chat from before. Wow, the chat's been wild. Seeing you talking about in the Discord, I wouldn't mind streams an hour earlier. I might try and stream an hour earlier. I also might try and dual stream to Twitch. We've been talking about it. Steven with the $5 donation. Thanks for the fire picks. You not being in school is good for my wallet. Yes. Oh my gosh. Ever since I got out of, I'm in my first year of college and now I'm going into my second year. Yeah, me being able to do this like full time has been awesome. I've really been enjoying it. Thank you for the 5, Steven. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the support as well. Hit that like button. I'm just looking at the chat. After I do this, I promise you I'm just going to look at charts for you for the next at least half an hour. So just let me look through the chat if I missed anything. Ryan banked today on Tesla puts. Nice. Oh yeah, Tesla did pull back. Yeah, HUYA was like the only annoying thing today, honestly. You're right, Sean. What else we got here? SoFi IPO'd, yup, been going wild. Shout out to the people who were here during the terrible red weeks. Exactly. For all those people, you are now being rewarded for weathering the storm. You're being rewarded. That's what I always say. You know, a lot of people want to just kind of run away when the market isn't doing too hot. But those are when the opportunities arrive that can lead to these types of trades. So to those people who sticked around, you're the real ones. And you're getting rewarded for it. What else we got here? I'm just finishing up reading the chat. Looks like we got a few tickers. Can I get a sheesh in the chat? All right. So I think I just had to read the chat. We've covered everything I really wanted to talk about. Futures still up a little bit. And yeah, for the rest of the stream, and this is why I was saying it a few times before, I can't go over the tickers that were already in the chat. I just like starting when I say so. So if you want me to take a look at a ticker for you, now is the time to drop a ticker in the chat. So the first ticker I see will be the first one I put on my list. If you typed a ticker in before and I missed it, just type it in again so I know that you're still watching the stream. Don't request something that was up 5,000% today because there's no technicals I can do on that. Don't request something that IPO'd last week because there's not enough data on the chart for me to analyze. Other than that, request whatever you want. And if you want to request a Wall Street bet stock just because everybody's talking about them, sure, that'll be the exception. I'll look at those. But yeah. Appreciate the support. Let's get to 40 likes. Only 3 more people have to hit the like button. I know we can do it. We'll see if it happens. Check out the links in the description if you want to sign up for premium alerts. I gave out options yesterday that ran like 200% in a day on QS. Gave out a lot of options last week that ran crazy. I gave out GME options that ran over 1000%. Let me show you these. I'm going to type those tickers in a second, but GME, before all of the craziness, all the way down here, it broke out of a symmetrical triangle, was back testing the breakout. On the 1 hour, there was a cup and handle, and right over here, I alerted call options for premium members, and they went up 1000%. So if you want stuff like that, the premium alerts link is in the description if you want to sign up. I truly believe that nobody else offers the price that I do for the amount of alerts and ideas that I put out, but that's always subjective. And even if you don't want to sign up for premium, I'm still putting out trades for everybody. So it's whatever you want to do. I'll leave it up to you. Appreciate the tip, Steven. Thank you for the 41 likes. Let's get it. Let's get some vibes in the chat. One of the best streams in a minute. And last night's stream, there was like 15 people watching an hour in. So great way to turn it around. Is having premium alerts emailed a chance? It's going to be tough because I do a lot of updates. Everything's in the Discord. So I know for some people who are not too, caught up with Discord, they might not like it as much, but I promise you Discord's a great app. Just try it out. Maybe in the future, but not for right now, unfortunately. But yeah, let me type in these tickers and let's just get to charting. All right. Just gonna drop all these tickers in my watch list. It's gonna take me some time to get to all of your tickers, so just give me patience. I'm also gonna try and keep it to like 1 ticker per person, just so I can try and help everybody out. And then maybe later in the stream, if there's less people in here, then I'll just do more tickers. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it to 1 ticker per person. UWMC, I want to take a look at that. We'll see if it can be a rocket sympathy for today, from today. SMH, you want to look at the semiconductor ETF, or are you shaking your head? I don't know, but we can look at the SMH. RHE. CRNC. Is that LTHM or ITHM? I can't tell. I'm gonna go with that one. Let me know if I'm wrong. If I mistype your ticker, just let me know in the chat. There's a lot that I'm trying to look at. Ethereum. All right, let's get to these tickers. We're going to start off with just SMH, which is like the semiconductor ETF. Nvidia's been going wild. AMD's been doing well. This was up today more than most of the indices, and it's an ETF. In terms of technicals, your resistance is like 257. There was obviously better entry areas. Definitely a rounding bottom here. Could it turn into a cup and handle? Sure, anything's possible. Really, if it creates a new all-time high, then obviously you'd probably just target psychological resistances. Pen. This is really interesting on Pen. There's a supply line. It broke the supply line, pretty much ran up to the 200-day moving average. It rejected the 200-day moving average, and now it's trying to flip the supply line into a demand line, right? So that's good, and you're above the important level of 74. Look at this, all right? For people who are not too caught up with technicals, why did Pen, from 140 go all the way down to 74, and it chose to bounce at 74? Why? Because that used to be the resistance. That's a nice line. A previous historical area of support or resistance typically tends to act as support or resistance in the future. It could be support if you're above it. It could be resistance if you're below it, right? So this 74 level was your resistance in September and October last year, and it flipped into your support. Then you broke this the supply line. You have a gap fill to $90. Looks pretty good. You just got to hold above 74. That's really it. Tesla, the bullish bat. We played options on these. They went like 200%, maybe a little bit less. Maybe I think it was only 100%. We played options on Tesla last week. We got in at 600, and it went up to like 630. The calls were literally for 630. So those worked out like perfectly. And then Tesla had a pretty big pullback. That's not crazy. It was down 3%. But I do like how Tesla held the 200-day moving average. That's the key thing here on Tesla. The 200-day moving average is currently at 602. You close at 605. All you have to do on Tesla is continue to close above the 200-day moving average. All right. Moving on from Tesla. We have X. We've had so many amazing trades on X. This was the last one. I closed it out right over here. It was like probably a 25% profit for premium members. Worked out very well. And now X is yet again making another higher low. This is just such a strong stock. Look at how many higher lows it's making. Higher highs, higher lows. The buyers just keep buying the dip. This is showing accumulation, right? Every time the bears cannot bring it down to that previous low. And now you're showing hidden bullish. You're actually showing triple hidden bullish divergence on the daily, on the MACD. Also hidden bullish divergence on the RSI. And what does hidden bullish divergence imply? A continuation of the uptrend. So 27 is an important level if we go back in time. 27 was your resistance in 2017, resistance in 2016, resistance in 2015. So 2750 is a very big resistance. If it can break that, it could probably just retest those highs from May. And then your support is probably like 2473. That's also a gap fill. And then your previous resistance from the end of May. Moving on, Sundial. This was a premium trade. It was 30% profits. I alerted it at 68 cents. The targets are around like right here. It has actually gone a little bit higher than the targets now, I believe. We looked at it last night on stream. Again, this was the better area. That's why I alerted it over here. 200-day moving average, triple classic bullish divergence. It was at a nice line. At this point, it's just gone up about 50%. So yes, it is over 110. Yes, it has gone crazier before. Like I said last night, it has gone wild. Could it go wild again? Sure, you're above a lot of supply right now. So this is technically a bullish area. It's just a question of, can you hold above 110 and continue to? Not going to be easy, especially if you have like a big red day in the overall market. So just hope for it too. It's up 13% today. Love. Thank you, Abraham, for the subscription. Love is kind of in like a rising wedge here. You can see that it pretty much hit this supply line and it kind of pulled back a little bit. It's still relatively just chilling. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, this is Love Sack. So beanbags. It's pretty much at an all-time high. If you want to target using Fibonacci's and you don't think that's going to break out of this rising wedge to the downside, you go from the previous swing high to the previous swing low, extend it out. Your 1.618 golden ratio is $90. Your 2.618 double golden ratio is 106. Okay, but remember, this is technically a bearish pattern according to Thomas Bulkowski. We'll see what happens. You don't have bearish divergence, but there could be potential bearish divergence on the MACD if you start waning back towards red, as you're making higher highs with currently lower highs on your MACD from your previous island to your current island. So that's Love. Next one is Dell. I'm not a big fan of this rejection at 103. I'm not going to call it a double top for now, but you can see you topped out over here, and now you haven't really topped out, but you pulled back. It's just in this range between 94 and 103. Whichever way it breaks out will be telling. You technically do have a gap fill to 93 as well. But on the contrary, you have hidden bullish divergence on the daily, which again implies a continuation of this overall uptrend. Next one is SWBI. I'm trying to kind of do this a little bit quicker because we have a lot. I mean, I like the higher low. It's kind of like an ascending triangle. It's not a perfect structure by any means, but you could see that you have this selling area between 22 to 2350, and you're making higher lows towards it, right? The psychology of higher lows, a supply wall, it's more bullish than bearish overall. But just keep in mind, this whole entire area is a resistance dating back to 2016, right? So you just gotta remember that. If you can break it, of course, you could go to the moon, but you gotta break it first. And you know, what if it wants to do this before it breaks out, right? Let me get the drawing tool out. What if it wants to do this? Retest the demand line and then go. You know what I'm saying? So have to be very strategic on that. INPX, pretty much a penny stock. Why am I drawing everywhere? This is a major support, 99 cents. It's also a psychological support, pretty much the $1 mark. That's, I think, the all-time lows. There is classic bullish divergence on the daily. It's trying to make a move. Your 200-day moving average is around 119. If it can break 119, at that point, yeah, it could go wild, right? Top of the range would be 159. You just got to hold above $1. So it's pretty much 10% risk if you want to retest your support. RMO. I never put out this trade. I charted it, I lined everything up, and if I did put out this trade, it would have hit the first target today. Comb Zach with the $10 tip, throwing the money. Leo DiCaprio, thanks for your great calls, man. Comb Zach, thank you for the $10 tip. I appreciate you. Are you Zach from Twitter? I'm not sure if you are, but appreciate the $10 tip. You're the man. If you want to send a tip, that's the pinned chat. RMO, I was gonna put this one out. There was quadruple classic bullish divergence on the daily. It was kind of double bottoming with the lower low, bullish hammer candle all the way at the bottom over here. I just never put it out. I talk about this all the time. There are so many things I chart that I just don't alert because I'm scanning 400 tickers a weekend. If you're in the Discord, I actually scanned live at like 2 a.m. on Sunday night because I was bored. But at this point, if RMO can break this resistance, that previous high at 932, you're thinking 10 bucks can be tested next. But of course, this is a make or break area. Neo, I'll just show the trade. This was a premium trade. Let me load it up. It hit the first target today. So I alerted this premium trade down at 34 bucks. First target was 42.81. Hit the first target today for a 24% profit in about 2 weeks. So let's go Neo. Chinese stock's been doing pretty well. Had a good morning, pulled back in the afternoon. Second target is 46 bucks just from that previous high in the middle of March. But yeah, this trade's technically already like played out for premium members, so I'll just share it for right now. We'll see if the second target hits. It looked great. There was a downsloping channel. It reclaimed its support. There was classic bullish divergence. Now it has broken out of this downsloping channel. I know a lot of breakout traders are putting out alerts on Neo now because it's broken out, but I'm kind of a little bit different. I like buying at the demand areas, not the breakouts. So that I can enjoy these runs even before the breakout. And then again, like half of potential breakouts just become fake outs. So that's why I like buying near demand lines and support lines rather than buying after something breaks out. It just comes with the technicals. Everybody has their own style. But that's Neo. I know we got a lot more to go to. I'm trying to run through it. UWMC, another one that got crushed, like Clover, like Lots, like Rocket. I don't think Rocket was a SPAC, though. I think Rocket went direct. But this is very interesting. UWMC. I don't know what the short interest looks like on this one. It was finding resistance at 864 for about a week. And now that 864 level has become support for the last 4 days. So anything above 864 on the daily candle close is bullish. Next resistance would just be 10 bucks from that previous support over here. Also this little high. We nailed out a 50% trade on UWMC. It was right here. I alerted it right over there at the bottom. Target was like right around here. It was like 50% in a week. If you were here back in like March, you remember that. It was great. Yeah, your support's 864, your resistance is 10. That's really it. COCP. Looks like you have this support around like $1.06 to $1.12, just like this little range over here. That's your support area. It actually used to be your resistance area. That's why I always talk about previous areas, becoming supports or resistances once again. If it can hold above this, there's not much divergence or pattern that I see. It was kind of a pump and dump. And I don't know, if it holds this, you have a gap fill, it looks like to 145. RHE. Not a lot to work with here, honestly. Kind of just already went crazy. There is hidden bullish divergence developing on the daily chart. You made a higher low from this low to this one with a lower level of negative momentum. I guess your support's 1044. You just want to hold that. That was your previous low at the end of May. CRNC is on the cusp of a breakout. This $100 level. It was resistance for all of April. You pulled back to the 200-day moving average. You're running again. This actually was your highest daily candle close since like the end of March. So it's making a move. Next resistance would be 115. LTHM already broke a resistance, and the next one is 2274. I think we looked at this last night. CHCI, cup and handling. We also looked at this one recently, if I'm not mistaken. Cup and handled, might be breaking out of this handle. Not much divergence on the daily. Really gap here on the 4 hour. I assume that the volume's like kind of low here, maybe. Actually, it's not. It's a $6 stock, so I don't know. That's really it I can talk. I mean, if it breaks 746, you have a gap fill to 785, and then you're shooting for the moon. I mean, I'm not telling you to. I'm just saying what it could be like up over here because there's not much resistance. Akujin was up 10% today, broke out of a falling wedge and back tested the breakout. This is so important. I don't know if it'll show up on the 4-hour yet. You had a falling wedge, consolidation to the downside, you broke out of it, and then you were flipping the previous resistance into a support. That's called a break, hook, and go. Okay, there was even classic bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Next resistance is 1064. Ethereum. Let me just delete all this. Not bad, Ethereum. Ascending triangle pretty much. Okay. I mean, MACD is not the best on the 4-hour. We can move over to the daily. But the daily MACD is, oh my gosh. Ethereum. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily MACD and on the RSI. Wow. And then on the 4-hour, you have an ascending triangle. If Ethereum can break over 2,900, it could probably see a new all-time high. There's just not much resistance. I mean, you have 3,500 to test, and then you just want to hold above this demand line on Ethereum. That's really it. So that was the first round of ticker requests. We got through them. I'm going to add more to my watch list. Just give me a minute or two to kind of breathe. All right, we have 46 likes. We have not had a stream hit 50 likes in probably over a month and a half. So if you have not hit that like button and you want to help me achieve the first stream to get 50 likes in a couple months, hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the technical analysis. Check out the links in the description if you want to join the free Discord or if you want to sign up for premium alerts. Follow me on Twitter at Champion Vibe. I appreciate all the new people in the stream tonight. I'm feeling good right now. Thank you for the tips as well. Zach and Steven. So it was you, Zach. All right, that's awesome. Let me scroll up again. I think I stopped. All right, there. Okay. So let me add some new tickers. There we go. We got the 50 likes. Can we get some vibes in the chat for all of you helping me hit 50 likes for the first time in a while? This is awesome. This stream is amazing. I'm gonna keep it going. We're just gonna keep running with it. So let me add what I didn't add yet to my watch list and we'll look at that. We got Woof, SHSP, KOPN, Tilray. Let's go Tilray. Nokia. Appreciate it, Alex. Thank you, Medic. Thank you, Brad. All right, we got some new tickers to add to the watch list. If you just joined the stream, I'm just going over tickers for all of you. Drop them in the chat if you want me to take a look. Hope everybody had a good day. If you're following the alerts, I'm not going to say I know you had a good day, but I think I could assume you had a pretty decent day. Woof. Let's see. Hidden. I mean, yeah, kind of hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Not a lot to talk about besides that. Looks like a pretty new chart. I think we looked at this like last night or something, just like an upsloping channel. Your supports are 2250 and then after that 2085. I didn't mean to chart that one. And then your resistance is about 2562 from these highs and then from this low. SHSP. Champion Vibe over here was giving fire trades when the market was getting absolutely crushed, almost all of which played out heavy today. Yeah, today was amazing for the trades, right? You know, back when everything was literally at the bottom, I trusted the technicals. I let the technicals lead the way for me. And just about 3 weeks later, when everybody was panicking over here, there was only 10 people watching the stream. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. And that's just a market cycle. And obviously market cycles affect my stream and the growth and everything. But hopefully we're entering a new paradigm in the market. Even if we aren't, it's been a great 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm just taking it for what it is. Just quick side note, NU, the crypto trade just went up like 5%. Overall, the trade is now up 11%. This was alerted in the Discord. If you want alerts like this for stocks, for cryptos, join the Discord in the description. But let's get back to the chat requests. SHSP, I would really like to see this reclaim 1450. I don't like how it fell under that. That was your support from over here. Anything else? It was even your resistance back in 2018. That's an important level that unfortunately you're under. So on SHSP, you got to get back above 1450. I don't know why I was stuttering. Pretty gappy 4-hour chart. KOPN. This could be a harmonic. We'll take a look. That's a really deep B point, so that kind of messes it up on that one scam wick. Well, there was classic bullish divergence down over here. It was kind of, you know, at an important area from that low and this high. At this point, I mean, you could definitely see that rounding bottom action. Next resistance would be 953, but we're just going to zoom out. You're right in the middle of a support and a resistance, so it's kind of a coin flip on which one you're going to go to next. I, unfortunately, cannot give you the answer because I don't know. Tilray. Beautiful. Falling wedge. Classic bullish divergence. At a resistance point. Those previous highs from the end of April. If you're a premium member, you know what I'm talking about here. I'm just going to show it because, again, I'll not show the other ones, but yeah, this is a premium trade. It was alerted at $14.16, which, as you can see, was pretty close to the bottom. It went down to like $13.60. It was like 50 cents off. And this trade is currently up over 30%, and it's like 1 or 2% away from hitting the target. So, premium members, pray for this to just go like 2% higher so we can put another green trade on the list for the week. But at this point, if you were not in at those areas when it was in the falling wedge with classic bullish divergence and the 200-day moving average and a major support, if you didn't get in at those areas, which are the areas I try to teach you about, I'm not too sure. You know, entering here, you're buying it at a higher premium than you could have in the last few weeks. Yes, there is a lot of stocks are showing rounding bottoms, which is a good sign. It's showing that, you know, just the psychology of it. Over here, you were bearish, 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 neutral, neutral, slightly bullish, pretty bullish, really bullish, right? It just shows that the psychology is slowly, but in a kind of parabolic way, shifting, which is what you like to see a lot of the time. And if you can just break that 1920 level, pretty big resistance, you could be headed to higher levels. So that was Tilray. Now we got Nokia. Been going wild. We talked about Nokia last night. I showed you right over here last night that Nokia, it was literally, as of yesterday, back testing a breakout. Okay, you can go to last night's stream, you can look for it. It was this candle right here. I said, look, you found resistance at 513 on these highs in May and on these highs in May. But in the last 2 days, it was finding support there. That is so important. And then the next day, it goes up 5%. At one point, it was up even higher. Next resistance on Nokia is 573 from this high over here, from this high, from these lows. Pretty real level. Even from these lows, like, it's such an important historical level. That's the next resistance. And then your support is still $5.14. CTRM. Pretty ugly downtrend. Looks like a lot of growth stocks before they reversed. You still have a gap fill down here. That's the issue. There's multiple gap fills, but it is a pretty gappy stock, so I don't know if that's the end of the world, but 275 is kind of your next support. You're still above, you're still like over 35 cents above that, I think. So you're not developing divergence yet. What would probably be optimal here, and I know you might already be in this, so you might not want to hear this, and again, it might not happen. There's no certainty in technicals. But what could be the better edge is if it does drop down to 275, and then the MACD does this, right? You get that on the MACD, and then you get the classic bullish divergence, right? So that would be the optimal situation here. It just drops down a little bit lower, but then you start bouncing, and then your MACD goes back to green. That would be optimal for CTRM. There's a gap fill to the upside though at 355, so we'll see what happens. Corsair, still just in this range, had a good day today. Still in the range. You know, whatever happens in this range is kind of just chop. Of course, it is a pretty wide range, so you could make some trades in it, especially if you go down to lower time frames. And I do like the high lows on the 1 hour chart. That's pretty nice. 1, 2, this is kind of 3 rising valleys, but these 2 highs were kind of like the same highs, so not really. 35 is your next resistance. ERX. This got literally demolished in the COVID crash from 186 down to $6. Wow, that's a lot worse than most stocks. But it's doing some pretty important things. It's breaking above 2861. This is pretty much a cup and handle. I'm not even going to chart it. This is your cup. This is your handle. You're breaking above 28.61, and guess what? Now that you're above it, there's no resistance, and technically you have a gap fill all the way to 54. So this is a very important breakout. It's, yeah, this is probably like your trend line. You can call it like an ascending broadening wedge. I mean, probably charge just like that. It's in an uptrend. As long as you continue to make higher lows, it's fine. You would optimally want to hold above 28.61. Not going to be super easy, or maybe it is. We'll see. IBM never put out that trade. That's what I'm talking about. So many trades I line up, but I just never put them out. And this would hit the target. Nice. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily for IBM. Let's see. I mean, it's just kind of consolidating after it gapped up and, you know, just kind of consolidating. That's really it. You could probably just call this like, you know, a symmetrical triangle. Hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour and the daily. We already looked at Tilray Medic like 5 minutes ago. IBM 153 is your next resistance. Your support is, let me just verify this. I'd honestly say your support's like 140 just from your recent lows over here. And that clears out another round of takers. Keep hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, check out the links in the description, join the Discord. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Anybody can join the Discord. I'm there all day posting new trades, giving updates on trades, covering the market. Join the Discord, links in the description. That's literally it. But yeah, I'm gonna add some new takers to watch this. Keep hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button. The pin chat is like my tips link. And let's see what we missed here. Still just trying to keep it to like 1 ticker per person for now. Oh, AHT? Yeah, that one's been going crazy. T. Oh, I already put that. Tilray was up 6% after hours? Wait, for real? Oh my gosh, Tilray hit their first target then. If there's any premium members in the chat, Tilray hit their first. I didn't even know. I didn't look at it after hours. Boom. First target achieved on Tilray. I just realized that. Wrong one. Boom. First target hit. 36% profit. It's up after hours, so 36% profit in a few weeks. That's what we do out here. That's what we do. Let's go, Tilray. Maybe not done yet if we can break this resistance. Playboy. I wasn't too sure about it up here. Was pretty vocal about it. A little bit more confident in it now. I mean, again, not the highest probability trade ever. And I don't even know if I'm going to consider this a trade. I'm just saying it looks better. Your hidden bullish divergence is developing on the daily. It looks a lot better than it did over here. Okay. You're slightly making higher lows. You can see over here. Not the best way to chart this, but kind of just like a triangle. So whichever way it breaks out will probably be telling. It probably looks better on the 4-hour, yeah. So hidden bullish divergence gives it a slight bullish edge. Also the trend gives it a bullish edge. You just got to hold above this demand line. BP breaking out, doing things. Gap fill. I think the next gap fill is like 30 bucks. Next resistance is 28.55. How would I even really look at this? I mean, just a bunch of higher lows. You broke that previous high from March. I'll probably not call this like a pattern or anything, but you could just see it's a nice trend right now. Maybe you just look at it like this, which technically would not be great, just like a rising wedge, but still you have a lot of room to the upside. And you're above big areas. Ray 510 with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And you got the keep it up emoji. Appreciate it, Ray 510 or 510. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Next one is AHT. It's been going wild. This was one of the only missed trades in the last few weeks. This was a premium trade down at like, I think it was down over here, and it got stop hunted. It was like somewhere over here, got stop hunted on like a red day in the market, and now it's proceeded. It's gone up to 561 at one point today, $6. I'm just gonna be straightforward. If you're entering now, that I'm not gonna say that you can't make money. All I'm saying is that's not the smartest money. The smartest money was getting in over here. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, FOMOing at this point after it just went up over 130% in under a month. I mean, you pretty much had the last month to get at a lower price on any given day, pretty much. So I don't know about entering here. That I'm not going to say yes or no to that. But 549 is an important level. You closed right above it. I think this was up a little bit after hours as well. 549 was your support in July of last year and May of last year. Kind of your resistance, but you got a little bit over it in November of last year. And you just want to hold above that. Not a lot of breathing room, but I think it was up a little bit after hours. And if you break 549, your next support's like 437. I mean, we're looking at the daily. There's nothing in between that. Really nothing. I mean, you have one little wick at like 469. So from a technical standpoint, these were the better areas to be entering. That's just facts. In hindsight, we could all see how that's facts. From a fundamental standpoint, I don't know too much about it, so I can't really speak on it there. AT&T. What? When did this happen? 18 gap down? What? That's interesting. It is kind of holding the 200-day moving average. I don't even know how this happened. I don't know what was the news. Probably was news. You just want to continue closing above the 200-day moving average, just kind of chopping around at it. That's really it. I mean, now you have a gap fill to 31.27. It's obviously one of the least volatile stocks in the market. If you're just looking at the share price, obviously the options will be volatile with these types of moves, but up 1% today. Lemonade at a major make or break area. It was a resistance in April, in the beginning and the end of April. Let me skip that song. If you can break over this, you're thinking like 112 after that, and if you break 112, you have a gap fill to 127. That's it. And then your support was probably today's open. You just want to hold above where it opened up today, which was pretty much like $90. That's also your 200-day moving average, which just appeared on the chart. Oracle. Kind of like an ascending triangle, bullish continuation pattern, bullish convergence on the MACD where you're making high lows on the price and then also higher lows on your MACD and on your RSI. Not divergence, but convergence. If you can break above 80.50, I believe that's all-time highs, and then the way to target an ascending triangle, you could use Fibonacci from the high to the low and then do it like that, but according to Volkowski, you're going to look for that measured move, right? Low of the pattern to the top, and then just paste that on the breakout. Now, the measured move will be around $86, $87, but you got to break the resistance first and obviously get some follow-through price action. TRCH, up 5% today, in the middle of a range. Not too sure. Not my type of trade. Doesn't mean it's a bad trade. Doesn't mean you can't trade it. Just saying this is not how I trade. I like getting in near supports, not pretty much in between support and resistance. And that's really it. Not much else I can say about that. I think I looked at BP earlier. Sundial was up 2 after hours. Yeah, that trade already hit the target. All right. Keep hitting that like button. Let's get to 60 likes. I'm just looking at tickers for all of you in the chat. After an amazing day in the market. You think AT&T reduced dividends, needs to be verified. Dividend cut hasn't gone through yet. Okay, thank you. Get these ones right now. Let me just take a look at the futures. Oh my gosh. So futures are flat, but the crypto trade NU session highs right now. This trade is currently up 17% since the entry. This was lower like 2 or 3 days ago. So the trades, I mean, the market's not even open, but our crypto trades are paying right now. It's just, I hope you didn't give up, you know, in the beginning of May when everything was crashing. That, you know, that's just not what you do as a trader. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. Of course, nobody wants to be losing money, but the way to really make this a career is, yes, you're going to take losses, but you got to keep going, right? Because if you just take a loss and you just leave it there, I'm not going to call you a loser. All I'm going to say is like, you're kind of you're putting yourself into that situation, right? And I'm not telling you any financial advice. All I'm saying is like, give yourself opportunity, right? The market tends to historically always go up over time. It's sitting around all-time highs right now. That's pretty much all it's done, create new all-time highs for the past century. So you just got to give yourself opportunity, be patient. And you know, there's a lot of people who were here a month and a half ago that just aren't here anymore because they couldn't really handle, you know, what was happening. And that makes sense for a lot of people. That's why I always try to teach technical analysis and risk management so you can prevent yourself from, you know, big losses. That's why we have the stop losses on every single trade. That's why we go for the reward to risk at a minimum. And then boom, you just have to wait for a few weeks. I mean, not always. It's not always going to happen like this, but obviously this is like the optimal situation. So we'll get back to the chat request now. Just a little bit of a sidebar there. ET is next. Energy transfer. This thing's been going nuts ever since October. Next resistance is like 1081. You're pretty much almost there. You break 1081, then you have 1171. And then your support would just be your local support over here, around like 990. That's really it. I mean, I just have to look at it locally because obviously the trend is insane. INO, let me delete all that. Gap down like crazy in the beginning or the end of April. It's on its way to try and fill that gap at around 897. Major resistance area over here. You know, look at all these lows that you had over here. This whole entire area is resistance. You're kind of right under it. So, you know, what I try to do personally is buy near supports, not near resistances. It's already gone up quite a bit after the gap down. Look how it gapped down and then it bottomed out at $6 right over here. But that was actually pretty much your candle high from January of 2020. That perfect. Yeah, you have a gap fill. This is going to be a resistance area. Decent probability that it gets there. Kind of just running crazy right now. I'm on the 1 hour chart just because I have to zoom in here. You do have some hidden bullish divergence on the 1 hour MACD. I mean, there's not too much I can do besides from that. BCTX, not anything I can do on that chart. That's why I would say in the beginning of take a request, don't request something that was up like crazy. You know, obviously I'm just covering some of the Wall Street best stocks because everybody's, you know, wants to talk about them. But yeah, this went crazy. If you were in it, congratulations, for real. I'm not saying that with sarcasm. I mean it. But it's like at this point, there's no pattern here. There's no divergence on high time frames. Well, there was divergence kind of down here, but at this point, like it just went, right? It just gapped up and went insane. So as a swing trader, I'm not sure. As a day trader, that's a whole entire different story. That's up to you. Obviously, it did go a lot higher during the day and pulled back. Maybe there's room, but just not, again, not my type of trade. I don't like speaking on things that I don't personally trade and stuff like that. Like, you know, my trading style is reversal swing trades. I look for, you know, I do some small caps, but mainly mid cap stocks, growth stocks, SPACs, EVs, all those. I mean, not even just SPACs and EVs, a bunch of different sectors that are not like super large cap like Microsoft, Apple typically, but also I'm not really trading penny stocks and other things. I'm just kind of playing those middle names, you know, the gambling stocks, the, like I said before, SPACs, EVs, the pot stocks. That's just kind of my sector, what I do. And yeah. And for like the crazier gains that everybody wants, you know, an AMC and everything, that's where I trade options. And if you're a premium member, sheesh, the GameStop options hit, the Clover options hit, the Tesla options hit. I know I'm forgetting some. Today, the QS options hit. It's just been amazing. Thank you for the 57 likes, by the way. CVS and then SAVE. SAVA. We're going to take a look at it. My back is like killing me right now. On CVS, great trend. Let me go out to the weekly on this one. Your support is $84. That was that major resistance in 2016, 2017. You broke above it, then you back tested it, flipped it into a support, and then you ran again. Now you're pulling back some. Again, this is a weekly chart. On the weekly, your next resistance is $98. So support's 84, resistance is 98. That's a pretty good reward to risk, but where's the pattern? Where's the divergence? For now, I don't really see much. I mean, on the 4 hour, you do have some hidden bullish divergence for sure. on the MACD and the RSI. You just got to hold above 84 on CVS or 83.67. SAVA, if it can break 62, there's no resistance until... What? Where did I even chart $80 from? Oh, okay, on the weekly. I don't even know when I came out to this chart. Like, I don't remember this chart, and I like TradingView literally wants me to delete like my charts because I have so many things charted. Like, I probably at this point charted around half the stocks in the market. I mean, it's insane. Like, I don't even know what this is, and I've charted it out. SAVA resistance at $80 from 2007, apparently, from whenever I made this chart. Kind of double bottomed over here with bullish divergence, and then it just ran. If you can break 62, 80 is your next level. Your support is 49 bucks from that previous high in April. That's really it there. We did look at Oracle, we did look at BP, DAR. Keep hitting that like button. Let's try and get to 60 likes. Our last 3 candles on AGC. We'll take a look at that. Thank you again for the tip, Zach. Are the last 3 daily candles on AGC bullish or bearish? Seems to be bouncing off resistance. Daily candles, they're not super bearish, but they're a little bit more bearish than bullish. Just 3 red days in a row. It's kind of interesting though, like you were able to hold like pretty much the same exact price that you closed at yesterday, so nothing really changed between yesterday and today. Like, of course you had your ups and downs in between, but relatively neutral candles, not the end of the world. But you know, you'd probably prefer this to be like a green candle setup than a red one, because what this is really showing is that every day you're having a decent open, but by the end of the day you're closing lower. So every single day for the past 3 days, it's just been a cycle of opening decently and then just selling off throughout the day. So obviously that's a little bit more bearish than bullish, but those are only 3 candles. If we really zoom out here, there's not a lot of data to work with, but the important level here is just 11 bucks. You're still above that. I mean, I'd probably just look, I'm not putting out a trade on this or anything, but I'd probably just throw my stop loss to a new all-time low, because if you break this previous if you break this previous all-time low, then you don't have any support left. So that's how I place my stop. And then in terms of resistance, I mean, your next one is 1394. You would get a 3 reward to risk playing this, but again, not a lot of data on the chart. You do have some kind of hidden bullish divergence on the daily. Just working with what I can here. That's AGC, and then DAR. You're above 67, 68 bucks. That's good. You're above support. Pretty much went to fill a gap at 71.80 or so. Next resistance is 74. You're in the middle of a support and a resistance. That's what's going on there. Very flat day today as well. Gotcha, Zach. Fubo had a good day, no? Oh my. Everything's just going crazy. I shared this with premium member. This was in the watch list that I made for the week, and the watch list has been doing very, very well. But yeah, Fubo, I mean, I even talked about it last week on stream. It broke over the $22 level, kind of like an inverse head and shoulders over here, even though the right shoulder was a lot higher. You typically want a higher right shoulder than left shoulder, because that shows that the bears couldn't take it that much down. But that's a little bit too much. It's not really that symmetrical or anything, but it broke out of the 2234 resistance, got over the 200-day moving average, flipped the 200-day moving average into a support, break, hook, and then go. And then it just went, right? Break, hook, and go. I just talked about it earlier in the stream. Shout out to Mitch Ray for teaching me all these things on his streams. Great take today. I mean, I should have put out an alert on the retest. I was looking at it right here. I just wasn't too sure. And sometimes you just let them slip. You can't get in all of them. I mean, at this point on Fubo, your next resistance is like 34 bucks. You zoom out on the daily, there's really not much in this range. Even over here, you just went straight up, straight down, straight back up, straight down. We'll see what happens here. Obviously better entry areas. Yep. Keep hitting that like button. 2 more likes to hit 60, which is going to be the highest amount of likes we've had in months for sure. So also, we've almost had 300 playbacks on the stream. I think we had like 130 playbacks last night. So awesome stream. Thank you. I think we have a lot of newer people in here. If this is your first time watching the stream, and I know we had 50 people in here earlier, but if you're still hanging around, if this is your first time watching the stream, let me know in the chat. Just say like, hey, what's up? Or just, I don't know, put the number 1 in the chat if this is your first time watching the stream, I guess. Probably should have done that earlier in the stream, but whatever. Maybe there's somebody. So I got Sfubo. I think we've covered the majority of the tickers in the chat. Futures still flat. S&P futures are up 0.11%. NASDAQ futures 0.20%. You got it, Franco. What else we got here? That's mostly it. I'm good to keep going. If anybody else wants me to look at something, appreciate all the tips. Keep hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the Discord. The link's in the description. There's over 1,700 other traders. I can't talk right now because I've been talking for over an hour, but there's over 1,700 traders in the Discord you can chat with. The link's in the description. I put out alerts multiple times a week in the Discord. There's bots that you can use. We have a Tradedic bot, which costs like, I can't remember. I don't want to say the wrong price, but I think it's around like, how much does a Tradedic bot? I have to look at this. 1 second, sorry. Maybe I could pull it up. Let's see. Does it sit here? Maybe it says like it's a great bot. Okay, I'm not going to spend time. I'm not going to waste time doing that. We have like a bot that's really good in the Discord. It tells you option statistics, like probabilities based on algorithms. It's really cool. It's towards the bottom of the Discord, but there's so much stuff in the Discord. The link's in the description. I'm sorry, that was like really awkward. I couldn't find what I was looking for. But Grum, it's your first time in the stream. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're subscribed. Every single night I put out, I know it's not your first time in the stream, Bala, but I put out trades. I chart the market. I chart trades for all of you. I just love technicals. I've been learning them for about 2 years, and I just try and share what I've learned with other people. And yeah, appreciate all the support. Truong just joined Premium Alerts. Let's go. Hope to see you in the chats. Appreciate it. Hopefully you didn't join. I mean, I'm obviously happy if you joined like literally today, because obviously that's helping to support me, but I don't know, if you didn't join today and you were here for the last couple of weeks, it's been a very good few weeks. Hopefully it stays this good, but of course nothing's ever certain and the market has its ups and downs. But appreciate that. Got a few more tickers to add. One more like to hit 60 likes. Who wants to be the 60th like? Could be anyone here. Have a good one, Barasan. SFET. Okay. Thank you, Scrooge. Have a good one. Okay. So that was NKN, right? Is this what you want me to look at? Nikon Corp? Who said it? Raj? NKN, is that the right one? Let me know in the chat. I'll wait until you let me know. Been following you for a few weeks now, okay, along with some fellow friends into investing. Appreciate the content. Thank you very much, Grum. Great to have you around. Joel, is it your first time in the stream right now? Welcome to the stream. Gold Miner 07, found and followed you on Twitter for a while. Been in streams for a couple months now. Great stuff. Appreciate all you bring. Thank you. I mean, everybody's awesome tonight. Appreciate all the support. Literally one of the best streams in months. So super happy. Great day. I mean, all around, from the trades to just, it was nice weather outside. The stream's amazing. Good stuff. Oh, you want to look at the crypto? Okay. So let's look at Carnival Cruises first. Carnival, any day above $30 is bullish. That was your resistance. It's at the highest level since the COVID crash. And there's not, I mean, if you zoom out on the weekly, you're at a choppy area from the past. But if you just look at it a little bit more locally, you have a gap fill to 41.68. If you were subscribed to my channel in the beginning of the year, I think it was in January, around over here, I put out a video on travel stocks on my channel saying I was super bullish on travel stocks for about a 3 to 4 month outlook. I think I could safely say that every single stock in that video that I mentioned is now up, probably over at least 20%. I mean, travel stocks looked so good back in January and February. I had to put out a whole video on them, and also like the fundamentals made sense with the reopenings and everything. So at this point, just got to hold above 30 bucks. SFET. It's above the 200-day moving average. Let me delete that. Pretty gappy 4-hour chart. It's above that 200-day moving average. Kind of did double bottom around like 115. This is your resistance, 145. If you can break that, it's a pretty volatile stock, so it could go crazy. 180 would be your next resistance after 145 on the daily. And then support, you just want to hold above that 200-day moving average. Pretty simple. Oh yeah, we have to look at the crypto. Wow, look at this 23-cent level. Nice. Good that it's above it. Hidden bullish divergence is confirmed on the daily. MACD and the RSI. Kind of just like a neutral pattern. If it breaks out of this to the upside, there is a lot of room for this to run. Next resistance would be like 48 cents. So you just got to keep making these higher lows. You can see on all these daily candles, you're making those higher lows, which is pretty nice, right? I like that quite a bit. Also depends on Bitcoin, obviously, but keep it up. All right, CLVR. Song's pretty good. I also have a new video dropping this weekend, so if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I already recorded the video. I'm just going to put it out on the weekend because, if I'm being honest, I think it might get more views if I put it out on the weekend. Again, I'm just being completely straightforward. It's just because more people are busy on weekdays and, you know, SEO and everything. But the video is going to be about Rivian, if anybody's heard about Rivian. I made a whole video on Rivian, which is a new EV. I mean, they've been around for a while, but they're finally starting to put cars on the road. And they're more than likely going to be IPOing within the next year, at least. Or maybe in the next few months. I mean, Bloomberg reported like potentially, I think it was Bloomberg that reported it, potentially like September. But yeah, that video on Rivian is going to be coming. It's like a 10-15 minute breakdown of what I think about the company and stuff. That'll probably drop on like Saturday. And for the newer people in here, I stream every single weeknight. I'm at 9 p.m. EST. So yeah. CLVR, it broke this supply line. It's been running. You do have a resistance at 1258 from these little candle highs. It's not a major resistance by any means. If you break that, then honestly, you have a gap fill to 16 bucks. Other than that, I don't really see much of a pattern or any divergence. Nice rounding bottom at least. Yeah. Cup and handle. You kind of have a cup, not really a handle. But yeah. Thank you. We got the 60 likes. Awesome, awesome stream. Almost about to be at 300 playbacks. Robinhood IPO. This is not financial advice. Robinhood actually might be making a lot of money right now, but I don't know. I feel like just for the fun of it, because of everything that happened in January, I might just like... I feel like so many people hate Robinhood to the point where they're going to get puts and short it just because they hate the company, not for any fundamental or technical reason. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Robinhood. I still have it. I have like 4 different trading accounts. I have Robinhood, Webull, TD Ameritrade. So I use a bunch of different ones. I still do use Robinhood, but they've, you know, done some questionable things in the past. Be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else that everyone wants to talk about? We already looked at Oracle before. I mean, I could just pull it up again really quickly. Kind of like an ascending triangle. You just got to get above $80.50, and you got to hold above this demand line. The measured move of this ascending triangle is eventually 87 bucks pretty much. But again, technicals are never certainty. I'm not one of those people who's trying to say all the time like, oh, this stock will go up 500% or something stupid. That's not what I do. All I do is just present probability, charts, textbook technicals for the most part. I do some stuff a little bit off textbook. And yeah, just try and find probability and manage my risk and make money while doing so. And most of the time it works out. Especially recently. It's been working out pretty well. Who is this on the sheet? Anonymous. So yeah, should we close it out there? Pretty good stream, about an hour and a half. One of the best streams in a while. Check out the links in the description. If you're not in the Discord, I don't know what to say at this point. I'm gonna put it plain and simple. You're just missing out. Anybody can join the Discord. Let's see if anybody new has joined the Discord since I started streaming. Because I've been saying it like a lot. I'm sorry if you're tired of me saying that. But I'm just trying to help out. Yeah, we've had about 3 people. So, congrats to the 3 people I joined the Discord. But we should have more. Alright? Trying to help everybody out. Just hopped on. You definitely made me a better trader. Thank you so much for everything, beautiful. Thank you, and pat yourself on the back for putting in the work and the effort that it takes to become a good trader. Appreciate it, Spiderwebs. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, great stream. Again, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the what's it called, like the little bell next to the subscribe button. Hit that bell so every night I go live, you know that I'm live. So you can look at these charts with me, so you can prepare for the next day. So you can be a better trader. I'm still trying to be a better trader every single day. Everybody makes mistakes. Just gotta learn from them. Thank you for an amazing stream. Oh, these tips are kind of like out of the frame. You just fix that. But yeah, we're in the Discord. I'll see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST. Thank you for coming out to the stream. Follow me on Twitter at ChampionVibe. Have a great night. Good luck trading tomorrow. We'll see if a few of these names that we talked about earlier can hit. If they do, it'll be fun just like today. If not, we're going to manage our risk and we'll be right back at it. So have a great night. Thank you for coming out. Peace out.